Hey everyone, I've had a lot of questions asking me to go back through how to make our tables for our quadratics and for our graphing of parabolas with Desmos. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a quick little thing. I'm going to go through an example or two from that we did in class on specifically remembering how to use Desmos to find these graphs. Now remember, you still have to actually draw the graph on the paper, but once you get that table to write down, you can then easily find the dots. So I'm in Desmos, and I'm going to start with my equation. I'm just going to write the equation here, even though I don't really care about using it. And I'm going to show you how to turn it off so it doesn't show up in the picture. But y equals 2x squared minus 4x minus 3. Now, if I click this little color on the left, it goes away. I just want the equation typed here so I can see it. Now, what I'm going to do is down here in the second one, I'm going to hit the little plus button, and I'm going to add a table. That's the key, is you need a table. Now remember, I need to figure out my vertex first. I have to do that by hand. And I'm going to show you how to do that here. I'm going to actually sort of blank the screen for a moment. So don't worry about that. And I'm going to turn on my pen. And I'm going to actually write, again, my equation was y equals 2x squared minus 4x minus 3. So that means that my A is 2, my B is negative 4, and my C is negative 3. On quadratics, you almost always want to write this no matter what you're going to do. It never hurts. Now remember, to find my vertex, that is negative B over 2A. So I'm going to write a negative parenthesis over 2 parenthesis. Well, my B, which goes right here, is negative 4. My A, which goes down here, is 2. Notice I have double signs here. If I flip the colors here so you can see it, I've got double signs. Don't lose those. Don't accidentally just write it once. You need to keep it correct. So let me switch back. So when I simplify this, I get a positive 4 over 4, which is 1. That's the number I need for my table. That goes in the middle. This goes in the middle of the table. So keep that in mind. Now I'm going to erase all this so I can switch back to the other screen. But remember, this is the middle. I don't need to plug it in at this point. I can use the table to do that for me. So I know I'm putting a 1 in the middle. So let me get my screen back. So now I'm going to go to the table, and I know a 1 goes in the middle, but I need two numbers before that. So if I go like this, I go tab, it makes more of the table, but until you're filling numbers in, it doesn't like to fill it out. Well, if I start at 1 and I go backwards a space, I go to 0, and then negative 1. 0, 1 in the middle, 2, and 3. You might manually write this on your paper. You might write X, fill out the column on your paper, and do this after you write it. Right there in the middle, that is my vertex. Now to find the rest of it, I'm going to go up here to the very top. I'm on the Y itself. I'm going to type this equation from above. I can actually go like this. I can go here. If I've typed it, I can go here, highlight it, and hit Control-C, copy. And then go down here, go over to the Y. I delete that, and Control-V. It will paste it in. So it is there. Now the problem is, notice the little triangle says this doesn't work. Well, that's because, remember, all the x's need a little 1. So make certain you're right next to the x. I don't want to be up in the power. I need to be below the x, and I hit a 1. Then I go over here to the other x, hit a 1. All of a sudden, all my points are there. So now this is the table. You can manually write it. You could do a screenshot and copy and paste the whole table, take a picture of just the table. If you look at the graph, you can sort of see what the graph is going to look like. Now let's say that I've done this for one problem and I need to do my next problem. Well, I can go back up to the top here. I'm not even going to delete the table. I'm just going to go up here and I'm going to write in my other equation. So negative x squared minus 4x minus 1. Now I need to find my vertex, so let me sort of flip my screen again. Let me blank that out, and I'm going to go back up here. So again, this was negative, let me get it turned on properly, negative x squared minus 4x minus 1. So this is what I would do on my paper. A is negative 1, B is negative 4, C is negative 1. So I would do negative b over 2a. So again, my b is negative 4 right here. And my a is negative 1 up here. So 4 over negative 2 is negative 2. So that is the number that goes into the middle of the table. So remember, we're going to put that number in the middle of the table. Remember, I already have the table. I had it from the last problem. I haven't deleted it. I don't have to make it again. So again, let me blank the screen and I'll go back to the original. Just keep a negative 2 in mind. So let me make this screen go back. So now I'm going to go to my table. And in the middle, I'm going to put our negative 2. Now, if I go backwards, the next number smaller to negative 2 is negative 3, negative 4, and now I go the other way, negative 1, 0. Now, if you went 0, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, if you went the other direction, it does not matter. Now I'm going to go back up here. I'm going to copy this, Control C. I'm going to go here. I'm going to delete all of this because I don't need it. Control V to paste. I'm going to go back up. It keeps moving my cursor off. And I'm going to put little ones, a 1 there. And go up here, make certain it's dropped down, 1 there. Notice it all of a sudden put all my numbers, negative 1, 2, 3, 2, negative 1. You should see that repeating, negative 1 to negative 1, 2 to 2, 3 in the middle. But there are your ordered pairs that you could now put on a graph. So hopefully this gives you a bit of a way of doing this with Desmos, and just keep an eye on it. It's not hard to use. You just need to pay attention first to these little ones. If they're not there, it will not work. If you're missing a little 1, it will put this little triangle, and if you click on the triangle, it says table headers must be simple expressions. That means that it has to have the little 1 in order to work.